What's going on, everybody? Hopefully you guys had an awesome weekend and are having an awesome week. So a lot of you guys were wanting to see a complete snake room tour, I guess. You guys wanted to see all the snakes into one video, and then some of you guys that I asked said that you wouldn't mind seeing one. So we'll just go around the room, we'll look at the snakes and talk about them for a little bit. And I'm not going to handle all of them just because some of them are getting pretty big and too big to handle with one hand while I hold the camera. So right now we'll show you the one that is the most cage defensive, so we have a chance to look at her. This is my female Argentine boa. She's probably, off the top of my head, 2017, so she's getting pretty big, and I'm really excited to see her as she starts getting into her adult size and age. So I know these get pretty big. They do get bigger than the BCI line. I'm not sure if they get any bigger than the BCCs, but they definitely will hit 9 feet without any problems, especially the females. But man, she is a gorgeous snake, and we do have some issues with her in the cage, but when she is out of the cage, she can be extremely nice and very tolerable on handling. So we can see she is a pure BCO, and the tail, no BCI or BCC bloodline mixed in with her. So perfect snake to start off the video with, in my opinion. And some of these snakes I was cleaning earlier, they ate not too long ago, so a lot of them are pooping. And then so I took out some of their sticks, some of their hides, and stuff like that. But most of these snakes do have, in these PVCs, they do have their own hides, and they do have their own little area to climb on. And since she is extremely cage defensive or aggressive, I do have some paper up on here just so she doesn't repeatedly smash her face, because we don't want any jaws broken or necks broken. So the next snake on the way up is a normal BCI, and we're not going to get a clear picture of her, unfortunately, although I do take her out a lot, and she is also pretty cage defensive. So unfortunately, if I would take this down and put the camera in there, she would definitely try to bite at the camera or myself, and I don't want her damaging herself hitting the camera at all. So we'll just go up to the next one, and the next one is, so it's a 2016 normal and 2016 albino as well. So I cleaned her cage out, took out her stuff, and personally I think she looks really nice. And unfortunately, the Reptile chip on a lot of these light colored snakes, especially the pieds, definitely is staining the coloration on the snakes, and so their true colors really aren't there because of what I'm noticing is because of the Reptile chip. But I'm not sure if I want to take her off of Reptile chip because of that. Seems like she kind of likes to bury herself a little bit. But on the ball pythons, which we will see later in the video, I definitely put them back on newspaper because of that reasoning. And then this girl right here, my Ghost 2017, and she is extremely she's pretty nice, but I love her colors. I just love the speckling on her, and then the saddles and the gray and the white and the black. I think it mixes extremely well with her. She's definitely probably one of my favorites, I'll say that. It's hard to pick depending on day and attitude that they have. Really plays into how I view which one I like the most. But in no particular order. So we do have a lot of snakes to cover, some big snakes, and then quite a few babies and smaller ball pythons and stuff like that. So hopefully you guys have some time available, because this video will not be shorts at all. And I took out some of the snakes, laid them out on here, just so it's just a little bit easier to get to them and stuff like that. So all of my ball pythons are, well, not all the babies, the younger ones, are 2020s. So this is the Super Mojave, and I really like her and her colorations on how white she is. And then she has the gray head, and then a really nice band on her eyes. Definitely like her. Excited to see what she's going to look like as she grows up. Not sure if she's going to keep the coloration she has now, or if she'll get more gray, but hopefully she gets whiter, because that would be really cool to have a whitish snake that's not a pied. I think it'd be a little bit interesting to see that. So we'll just go back up here, make our way into this tub right here, and try to get all the cages clean. I guess she decided to make a mess. So this is also 2020. It's an IMG, Hypo, Jungle, Motley, and is 100% het for snow. So really cool markings on her head, and then all the way down her body. So really awesome snake. And I'm definitely excited to see what she's going to look like as she gets older, how dark she's going to get, or if she's actually going to get, she should get a little bit darker. The Hypo and the Motley should play out together, so she's not jet black, which will be really cool, because I really like the markings on her. And I definitely think it would be a shame to have her go completely jet black, just because of all these cool patterns on her would disappear, and I think that would kind of suck. So I love the patterns on her face. So she does have that nice tail on her that's pretty red still. So it'd be cool if like a lot of her body went darkish, more dark, and then she left that awesome tail pattern and coloration on her. So she definitely likes to be held, but I think that's how it is on pretty much all baby boas. They like to be held, wrapped up on your hand and stuff like that. So trying to get them off is a little bit difficult, but not a bad thing if you want to hang out with them. So these tubs right here are extremely nice, and I think you can still buy them now, because normally for the month or two after Christmas, you can get these Christmas tree totes from like Walmart for like 20 bucks. And they're actually not bad. They're 4 feet, and I think they're about, I don't know, maybe 1.5 feet wide. I'm not 100% sure on that, but they are 176 quarts, so they definitely hold quite a bit. And for people who have startup snakes or smaller boas and stuff like that, you know, I think it's perfect for people to have it. So as of right now, until she gets a little bit bigger, I am housing Mountain Dew, my female green anaconda. And this girl right here can be nice, and she can have an attitude. So hopefully tonight she's doing pretty good. I do need to feed her, so the next video will be her feeding. And I have not gotten her swapped over from quail to rats yet. So that has been a mission for me for the last a couple months, I would say, since I got her. I got her back in June, around June, pretty much when the pandemic hit. But she's actually growing really nicely. And I really don't mind feeding her the quail. It's just that I know when she gets older, it'll get a little bit annoying. But looking at Rodent Pro's websites, the quail pretty much have the same nutritional value as the rats at the same size. So it's not like she's losing nutritional value eating the quail. Is just, you know, just an extra thing that you have to buy and an extra expense. And then when they get older, it'll be more difficult to get the adult size stuff. So, oh man. he definitely pooped, so we'll just take that out. Set it to the side, get that out later. So this is a male banana clown, and he is awesome looking. So really excited to have, I really wanted the banana and then the clown, so why not just get one with the same genes in it. And each time I'm looking at him, he has more and more of these black specklings, which is awesome. So I know that's pretty common in the bananas. I just don't know how many speckles he will get, or if it'll be like a full body, or if it'll just be random here and there like it is now. But I'm sure as he gets older, more and more speckling will show up. So it'd be super cool to see that. And it gives it kind of like a randomness, like a uniqueness to the snake. Kind of like the ghost. Some ghosts have a lot of speckling, and then some ghosts don't really have that much at all. But I've noticed with mine is she had a lot when she was born, and then over time she got more and more. So this is my more adultish female pastel, and I've had her for a very long time, 2005 I believe. And this was when I first got into snakes, so had her for a very, very long time. She was actually my very, very first ball python, and she's still around, so that's super exciting to have her still in the collection. So we'll go down here, and this girl definitely needs to eat, so she's probably super hungry. And we see her cage. So this is my female green anaconda. So this is 2019, very, very early 2019. Got her when she was a couple months old. Had issues feeding her on anything, and then I got her on quail, and then I got her swapped over from quail to rats within, I would say, 2 to 3 months. But she definitely was a picky eater, and she, most of the time, I haven't had any issues with her on holding her. So not going to take her out because she is pretty large, and it definitely takes both hands to hold her. So I do a lot of interaction videos on the channel. So if you guys are new to the channel and watching this and you guys want to see me holding snakes and stuff like that, I do hold them quite often. So you know, be prepared for those in the future. You guys will definitely see her out and about a lot more. So I'm feeding her, if anybody's wondering, all of my big snakes, all of the boas, all the big boas, and her, I'm feeding them every 2 weeks. But I try to go every like 14 to 17 days, and they're all on medium rats. So none of them have hit the large rats yet, although a lot of these big girls can definitely, like her right here, she would be able to eat a large rat with no problem. It just makes me nervous feeding them extremely large meals. For whatever, and it's just my personal view on stuff. So a lot of you guys were asking how Peaches is. This is my pearl Burmese python, and she's actually doing really well. I had a little bit of issues with her on a shedding. She just came out of shed, had some stuck shed on her, and I'm not sure why. I'm not sure if something happened with humidity in the cage. So it is an 8-foot cage, and not sure if, like I said, there was a humidity issue because she's been in here for quite a few months, and she shed out in here before twice, and she didn't have any issues. So I ended up buying a bigger cat litter box, and then I put a lot more water in there. So if it was a humidity thing, which I'm pretty sure it was, I don't know what happened. I know I did turn up the heat on the radiant heat panel. Maybe that had something to do with it, with the smaller water dish I had in there. But so I soaked her. She got the you know, pretty much all the stuck shed off of her as much as I could. So she's doing really well. She's 2019. So just a pearl het green granite. And then while we're talking about heat panels, I do have one for Pop-Tart right here. So these are the only 2 snakes that I run individual heat for, because they are on the floor, and on the floor the heat doesn't get down here much. But I do run the room with an oil space heater, and I try to keep the room at around 84 to 86. Anything below 90 I feel good with. If it starts going over 90, I definitely turn it down and I try to open the door, let it cool down a little bit. But yeah, I mean, just running the space heater in here is super cost effective, and it's actually working out really, really well. Now, I'm sure if you're breeding, you might want to do individual heating on all of your snakes so you can drop the temperatures and stuff like that. But since I don't breed, it's perfectly fine. And I have no issues with them eating. Even the ball pythons, they do not go off of food at all. So we will look at what's in here. So this is my California king snake, and it is soaking wet in here. Probably got to poke some holes on the sides here. So 2015 California king snake. This was my very first snake I'd ever bought, and still have her in the collection. She's actually really, really big. She eats constantly, so I could throw food in there a couple times a week and she'd probably eat it, even though it's not really healthy. But king snakes are notorious for being garbage disposals. And this guy right here will be probably a little bit of a pain to get out. So we'll set this here. And of course we're not in any order, we're just going around the room. And we have another 2015 pied, male pied. And this dude's big. At least I think he's big. This was my third snake and my second snake, or my second ball python, I should say. So he is doing really, really well. A couple nice blotches on his body, so we can see the colors and some patterns on him. But nonetheless, he is looking really, really good. And then we'll take out some more snakes. Most of these are all babies. 2019s, 2020s. And these will be the boas. So I know a lot of you guys love seeing the boas. And this girl right here is always looking good. Love her colors and her patterns. So this girl right here is a Hypo jungle pastel. And she shed out, I think she shed out last week, which is really cool. So sometimes her coloration flares up where she's like super bright and vibrant. And then sometimes she kind of like cools her colors down a little bit. So they're a little bit duller, but man, she's 2019. Love the colorations on her, just insane. So she's a good snake. Always eats for me. Super friendly, super curious about everything. I like that line right there, the jungle on her. So she is small though, and I don't really understand why. For 2019, why she is so tiny, because my 2020s, like IMG, and then I'll show you guys a couple other 2020 boas that are definitely her size, if not a little bit bigger. So I do apologize on the camera. Trying to do all of this with two hands is not very easy. So we have a 2020 male. I really want to say, yeah, this is the only male that I have for boas. So a male snow, just a basic snow, nothing wild, nothing mixed in with him. But can't wait to see what he looks like, because I've been seeing some snows on Facebook and stuff, and a lot of them are different. A lot of them are really yellow with bright white saddles and tail patterns. Some of them are really white all the way down, and some of them stay really, really yellow. So that'll be interesting to see how he turns out, along with this 2020 Moonglow. So this is a female Moonglow. And I'm trying to take them out as carefully as possible. A lot of snakes on a lot of different feeding schedules. So once I start cleaning, you know, half the snakes, the other half are randomly pooping. So always got to keep up on the snakes. Do apologize if some of the snake cages are a little dirty, but I try to do my best on being in here almost every day and cleaning them. So this is the Moonglow, and the difference is this one has Hypo in it. So the other one is Anarthristic Albino. This is Anarthristic Albino with the Hypo. So we get to see more of the patterns, like the saddles and stuff like that, the bow tie saddles. And I think this one gets more whitish, which is kind of confusing why it's not. This one's not the snow, because if this one gets whiter than the real snow, I don't know. I don't know which one came first. I've seen some adult snows, adult Moonglows, and they look almost pure white. But she has some really nice looking patterns on her. Really nice colorations, saddle markings, and a really nice tail on her too. Nice whites on her. So this will be another one that'll be super exciting to see her grow up. See her in her adult colors. Let's not smash her head in there. There we go. Alright, she can stay out. I'll just put all these back later. Moving on. I don't even think we're halfway through yet. So, whoa, horrible camera angle. Now I'm not going to get out these ones because I do have a pair of these, and these ones are tiny, so they make me nervous. They're super fast, super fragile. Last thing I want to do is squish one. Last thing I want to do is have one dart off in the room and it is gone forever. So this is my male black Mexican king snake, and these two are definitely a dream snake of mine. So I love how these look. Jet black, no pattern, no nothing, just pure black eyes, black tongue. Can't get anything better than that. Super cool. And they're feisty. They'll try to bite you, and they'll bite your fingers and all that stuff. So we'll put that one back. They eat a lot too, so I'm trying to feed these every five-ish days. Sometimes I don't feed them until about the 7th day, but they're definitely growing quickly. I've had quite a few sheds with them, and I bought them over the summertime, so they're definitely 2020s. Hey, look at that! Got another shed. So this is the female. And it's always nice to pick up a pair when you can, and if you can get a good deal on them. So again, these ones are beautiful looking. All black. I'm not sure how big they get. I think they would get at least 4 feet, staying relatively thin, but again, I'm pretty new to the colubrids, although I do own that one from 2015. You know, I'm definitely more into the boas, I should say. That's the boa family of the snakes, and I think you guys will like seeing her. This is 2017. Yeah. 2017 Guyana Redtail. So this is a pure Locality Redtail, and I definitely love the way she looks. Awesome temperaments. Had some issues with her when she was a baby on feeding. Didn't know if she was going to make it, so she's very, very tiny for being a 2017 because of the feeding issues that we had. But man, this girl has awesome, awesome, awesome saddles on her. Nice markings and a beautiful, beautiful bright red tail. Oh, she's definitely going crazy. So she's trying to get out. And we don't want to stress her out too much. So very, very excited to see her as she grows into an adult, because every single time she sheds out, her tail just gets redder and redder, which is awesome. So we'll go down the list on the ball pythons. And you know, if you see something that you really like, let me know. I can do a video on that, or I can add it into another video that I'm going to be posting up. I try to post up weekly. I think I might do 2 to 3 videos a week, even though it might be a little too much for, you know, a lot of people. But I do have the albino ball python, and I love the coloration on them. Just the way, you know, the bright whites, the bright yellows. I love the patterns on them, and they fade out a little bit as they get to an adult, but they don't fade out as much as the albino boas. So even in adults, we should still be able to see them pretty well on the patterns and on the coloration. I mean, like I said, they do fade, but it's not drastic. And we do have a black pastel pied, which she is awesome because every time I look at her, she's getting more and more random black dots all over her, which is awesome. So I'm really hoping that she gets more than this, but it's just super cool to, you know, every time she sheds or when I open up the clean, she's got more and more markings. So like that one right by there by her neck, I didn't see that last week. And then we have 3 down her body, so pretty exciting to have the uniqueness of that happening to her. All right, moving right along. My all-time favorite ball pythons, even though I'm a boa guy, are the pieds and the clowns. I love the look of the clowns and the colorations that people are putting into it. And that one's got like a heart on the back of her neck. So this is the butter clown. And I only have a few. I think the only male that I have of these are the banana clown and then the male albino. So super cool markings on all of the clowns. It's nice to have beautiful looking clowns that are females, because in the future, if you want to breed, it does take them about 2 years to get ready. And you know, just enjoying them as pets. Until then, if you want to breed, absolutely nothing wrong with that. And this girl right here is wild looking too. So this is so these are all 2020s. And man, this girl is bright, bright, bright today. So this is a orange ghost, super enchy, and I love the way she looks. This girl has a lot going on with her. I love the yellows, the whites, the brown. Man, there's a lot going on with her. Super, super bright. She did shed out about a week ago, so she still has her awesome fresh colorations. And then they'd start to dull out a little bit, and then once they go back in the shed, they brighten right back up. But yeah, she's kind of got a green tint to her eyeballs. But she is insane. Love her. when I was buying all the clowns, I saw her randomly on the site. And I was like, man, that would be a cool snake to get. Just, you know, just something awesome for the eyeballs to look at. And then we have the female. We got the female albino down here. So cool markings on her. I like how they're kind of like the straight down markings and stuff like that. Got the red eyes. So pretty cool to have a male and a female on these. And then I love this girl right here. So I'm a very I like to buy the snakes that have the visual appeal to them. So I'm really not much into buying like normals with hets. I like looking at the snakes and enjoying them. I guess if I was a breeder, buying the normals and the hets would be a good deal. They're cheaper and they're probably easier to breed and get what you want out of them. But I do like to look at the so this is the pastel clown. You can probably get a normal het pastel clown. I don't know, I'm just like throwing stuff out there where it would look like a normal, but it would carry this bloodline. But I definitely just like looking at them. I love how it looks like the patterns like bleeding down the body on the clowns, and the marking on the clown head, how it looks like a secondary face. I just think that's super cool on them. And then now that clowns are getting really popular, people are throwing in wild combinations with them. And so these are definitely my pieds, and clowns are my favorite ball pythons for sure. Now I don't know if there are clown pieds yet. I'm sure there are, and I'm sure they're extremely expensive. I'm sure people like Kabolka have made tons of them. But, you know, when ball pythons cost more than 10 grand, I kind of just, it's depressing. But here's a normal pied female, and she looks really good. Has one little black marking on her. I don't think she's going to be getting any more unless they show up later on in her life. But that black pastel is showing markings like crazy. So I really was hoping this girl right here would have shed out already. She went into blue last week. She's been cleared up for the last couple of days. And this is my horribly made Viv container for them. And that fell. So I do have the Steve Irwin Funko Pops. I swear I would never ever buy Funkos. But then I saw Steve Irwin, I got all three of them. So, super cool. I'm going to try to take her out. I don't know what type of a... So I don't have a light in here just yet. I do need one, and that is on the list. But this girl is normally pretty calm. There we go. Sorry, I was aiming the camera in the wrong direction. So she should shed out. Well, I guarantee she'll shed out tomorrow. But I'll make a video or post it on Instagram after she sheds out. So this is the Suriname 2017. Beautiful girl. And really wanted to show you guys how she looked out of a fresh shed because, man, she looks awesome. Bright colors. Really nice salmony pink colors down her side. Really good saddles on her. And she is super nice. Really nice tail on her. I think this side's got the long stripe. Now it's the other side. But, man, she is looking good. So, unfortunately, she has not shed out just yet. But, so when I feed her, I could probably hand feed her. I do a lot of feeding videos as well, and she just barely takes the food off the tongs. No problems at all. And because some of these boas, man, they are super aggressive when they eat. And this is another one that I made. This was the very first one that I made these two down here, which was really, I mean, it wasn't easy. But it was a lot easier than making this because I did the sliding glass on these two, and then my light went out. So the fold down was a pain. On my first attempt, really got me struggling, but we'll look at her, put her up on her little perch right here. So this is a 2018 motley het albino, and I love motleys. I know a lot of people don't like them. I'm not sure why. I've had some people say they don't like the name. Some people don't like the patterns on them. But wow, I don't know who would not like the patterns on these snakes. Look at the tail on that. Look at that, awesome. And then they're layered, like on each on the sides. It looks like a layered cake. Like you got tons of stuff going on with them, which is super cool. I love the patterns on the top too. Some iridescence on her. So I'm curious on how she's going to grow up. I've seen a lot of motleys stay a little lighter in color, and then I've seen some motleys that get really dark. So far after her shedding, she's darkened up just a tiny bit. But hopefully she stays a nice light color so we can see her patterns and stuff like that. But you know, some of the snakes that get really dark, that lose the patterns, they still look good, like the IMG motleys, which is still on my list. Because they get jet black and they look totally awesome. So I think that is it. So hopefully you guys enjoyed hearing me ramble on about all of the snakes. Hopefully you guys enjoyed seeing the snakes. If you're new, I appreciate you stopping by and at least staying until the end of the video. And I do a lot of feeding videos, I do a lot of handling videos and stuff like that. So this will be definitely this won't be the last time you see any of the snakes, because I have a feeding video that I'll probably put out tomorrow because I got to feed at least 4 snakes tonight after this video. And hopefully you guys are having an awesome week. Hopefully you guys enjoyed seeing all of them. If you guys want a more in-depth video or questions about one of the snakes that I have, don't be afraid to ask, and I'll try to get that video up for you. And on that, I'll see you guys on the next video.